5 footballers Mourinho had fallen out with. 1. Iker Casillas. Mourinho's final year in charge at Real Madrid saw a series of bust-ups. Jose had previously claimed that Casillas was the best keeper in the world. But later on, he criticized the player and dropped him for Diego Lopez. This clearly hurt the players in the dressing room, including Cristiano Ronaldo, Sergio Ramos, and Pepe, who also had a bust-up with Mourinho. Spanish journalist Diego Torres mentioned in his biography named the special one as to how the Portuguese saw Casillas as a grass, a mole, a traitor and an egoist. This happened after a heated El Clasico match when the keeper called Xavi in disgust as to how he disagreed with his tactics. However, Casillas stayed at Madrid for 2 more seasons before joining Porto in 2015. 2. Bastian Schweinsteiger. The World Cup winner would often leave United and go back home for treatment, and this act became unpopular within the club's dressing room. Mourinho even questioned him about this, and the former German captain was written off as an asset in the club's accounts. However, Jose later publicly apologized for the way he handled the situation, saying, "He's in the category of players that I feel sorry for something I did to him. I don't want to speak about him as a player, as what I buy or not buy him. I want to speak about him as a pro, as a human being, and that was the last thing I told him before he left. I was not right with you once, I have to be right with you now. I had to let him go and now publicly wish him and his wife a very happy life in Chicago." 3. David Luiz. David Luiz was sold after a year by Jose in his second spell in charge at the Stamford Bridge. The Brazilian defender believes that it was his optimistic style of play led to the Portuguese selling him to PSG for a then record fee for a defender of £50 million. Luiz was benched a year after Jose returned back to Chelsea in 2013 and was eventually sold. The Portuguese even claimed that Luiz would not be missed after selling him. According to the Brazilian, Mourinho is a defensive-minded manager, and this mentality didn't fit well with Luiz. He left the club on bad terms and even taunted him after PSG's Champions League win over his former club. 4. Pedro Leon. While Mourinho was at Madrid, he had another bust-up with the 23-year-old highly rated winger. Leon was signed by the then Director General Jorge Soldado in 2010 for 10M from Getafe. He was never a player Mourinho wanted. He was unprofessional, undisciplined, lacking the edge, etc. During a press conference, Mourinho said, "Last year he was playing for Getafe. You talk about Pedro Leon as if he was Zidane or Maradona," when asked about the winger's absence from the team. According to The Guardian, Mourinho even told the player that he would not play him if one day the entire team died in a plane crash without him on board. Pedro returned back to his former club at the end of the season. 5. Kevin De Bruyne. De Bruyne returned back to the Premier League and has been in tremendous form for Manchester City this season. The winger grew tired of fewer opportunities at Stamford Bridge and was desperate to leave in search of regular football. He revealed how Jose had once called all the attacking players and tried to prove to him that he was not on par as per the stats. The Belgian immediately said that was not logical, as he had played fewer games. Mourinho let the player go as he felt that the player did not want to fight for his place and also questioned his mentality. Despite doing everything right in the training, the winger failed to understand why he was not being played more regularly. According to the midfielder, Mourinho only spoke twice with him. The Belgian then requested to be allowed to leave to get more playing time under his belt.